So every single year in the United States, there's 6.5 million businesses that start up, and there's 1.6 million that fail. That is a lot of business failures, right? In fact, 90%, according to the Small Business Administration, of every business that starts fails. And here's some interesting things to think about too, is that 90% of first-time founders fail. So people that have never started a business before, it's the first time that they've ever started a business, they're going to fail 9 out of 10 times. Well, if you have started a business before, but it didn't really work out, then presumably you've learned some lessons for it, because the failure rate gets a little bit better. Only 80% chance of failure in that case. 20% of those businesses ultimately are successful. Now, you would think that in the world of MBA educated, lawyered up, sophisticated, experienced business creators and funders, that the success rate would be significantly higher. But even in startups that are done and venture capitalists fund, even when venture capitalists fund, that means they've vetted, using all of their smart people, a business, 75% of those fail. In fact, for the greatest chance of success, you would want to be a founder who started a business and had it be successful, and then you're starting another one now, previously started a successful business, then you have a huge chance of success. Only a 70% chance of failure, right? 70% chance of failure. So to me, that's really a pretty high chance of failure. And there's all kinds of personal crises, right, that are going on as well that might be driving that. There are 595,000 businesses in the United States alone every single year that simply close their doors. They just close their doors. They just stop the business. 595,000 businesses every single year. And there's a lot of reasons that this happens. Let's talk about the top 10 reasons that businesses fail. The first one is that the owner was unable to find product market fit. What is product market fit? Well, it just basically means that the owner said, hey, I invented a weightlifting assistance lever, and I'm going to sell that. And they just go out and spend all the money to develop that invention, and then they take it to market and sell it, and they find out either it costs too much and people aren't willing to pay that for it, or the people just don't care about having a weightlifting assistance lever. And people might not want another coffee shop. People might not want another restaurant, right? They might not want another shoe store. They might not want another department store or another lawyer or another insert business here. There's so many businesses that are copycats of other businesses that people don't think about what is the unique proposition that's going to cause people to want to buy from that business. Why does this business deserve to exist? And they don't take the time to find the exact right market for this product that they've created, and they don't create the product with the market in mind, okay? So that's the challenge, and that's one of the biggest reasons that businesses fail. Another one is that people simply retire. As I mentioned, 50 million baby boomers, right? 50 million baby boomers retiring over the next 10 years. And that's not including all the people that aren't baby boomers that are retiring, because it ain't just baby boomers that want to retire, right? That is a goal for lots of people who want to retire at 30, 40 years old. Those are not baby boomers, and they want to retire too. So in addition to the 50 million baby boomers, there's others as well. Relocation. So people who need to get to a different place. Maybe as they are getting older, they want to move to be near family. Or maybe they're younger and their parents move, and those people want to move and be near to their parents and that family. Maybe there are medical conditions that cause a relocation to be appealing. Maybe the cost of living in one particular area has gone up, and so there's a relocation to have a more affordable area. Maybe somebody's moving for the weather. Maybe somebody's moving because they always dreamed of going to this other place when they had enough money to do it. There's a million reasons that are sub-reasons to these main reasons I'm saying even, right? But there's clearly a lot of folks who will take a business that can't be operated. Like, it's hard to take a restaurant that is in San Diego and uproot it and fly it over to New York and drop it in New York. You're probably going to have to close the restaurant in San Diego or sell it and give it another go. You'd have all the same ideas and things you're going to use, but it's like opening a brand new place up in New York. You don't have all the same customers. You don't have the brand recognition. So that is a big deal. Burnout. How many people that you talk to who have been doing a business for 10 years or more who still are excited about that business? I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I talk to who are just burned out and tired, bored with the business they've got, and they want to do something else. Also, money and the economy. So I mentioned a lot of the economic reasons, but also from a personal standpoint, there may be personal financial reasons that people want to do this as well. Maybe the business is making them a lot of money and they want to sell because they see something coming down the road that they're concerned about. Maybe the business is making money and it's making a profit, but it's not enough profit for the owners to realize the dreams that they've got. Maybe it's not making as much money as something else that they are also doing, or maybe they could just go to work for somebody else and avoid all the hassles and they wouldn't have to worry about it either. Also, shiny object syndrome. So if ever you've known an entrepreneur, you've seen shiny object syndrome. That is when you go to a networking meeting or a mastermind and you see other business owners and you're talking to them, the most attractive business in the room is any business other than yours. Everybody's excited about listening to the stories that other people have because those people are telling all the good things about their business and none of the bad things. And you know all of the bad things, all the warts that are on your business, you're well aware of, and those people don't know, and they want your business. They're tired of their business. So shiny object syndrome, shiny object syndrome in terms, that's the grass is greener shiny object. Other would be that I've always wanted to do this other thing, or there's this new opportunity, or there's this new technology, or there's this new business thing that I've seen, and they want to do something that they're not already doing. So that's shiny object. Also, health and death. We saw as the pandemic came that health affected millions and millions and millions of people, and a lot of them were unable to continue to operate their businesses. And unfortunately, none of us gets out of this life alive. So even people who are not suffering from health can die. They can die from unexpected causes that are third parties, medical reasons, or whatever, but death is definitely a factor in how many businesses become available every year to acquire. And families that are dealing with death, or the estate attorneys or administrators that are dealing with the businesses of people who have died, want to sell them so that the funds from the sale can go to the estate to pay the expenses of the death and go to the family who survives whoever it is that's died. So there is a motivation to sell those. Also, partners. I can't tell you how many opportunities have come to me as a result of working with people who were not happy with their current business partners. When they went into business, it looked like things were going to go this way, and as they worked, for whatever reason, they grew apart. Maybe one wanted to work in the business, one didn't. Maybe one did more than the other. Maybe there was some resentment for whatever reason, or maybe they just can't get along anymore. But partnership disputes and partner buyouts are a tremendous opportunity to find motivated sellers, and that's another reason that businesses fail. Also, divorce. Obviously, when two people have married and they decide that they're no longer going to be married, there is a process of winding up the estate of the marriage, and typically that will require the sale of the business. And sometimes one of the parties, one of the spouses, will buy the other spouse out, but very often the business has to be sold and liquidated so that there's cash, and cash is given to each of the spouses. And then last but not least, certainly not of all the reasons that businesses fail, but in my top 10 list, a flawed business model. They just didn't think it through. They didn't think about how much money do I need to make in sales to cover the costs that I've got, and the cost of being in business, the cost of paying my employees, the cost of rent, and have some money for myself. Just simply a flawed business model. They didn't think it through. These are the top 10 reasons that businesses fail. So what we want to do is do something a little bit different. We want to buy a business, to acquire a business, and then build it up. That's going to help us beat the odds, right? A one-year-old business is twice as likely to fail, twice as likely to fail as a 2-year-old business. A 5-year-old business, 250% more likely to fail than a 1-year-old business. And a 5-year-old business is 250% more likely to succeed than a 1-year-old business. And a 10-year-old business is 3.5 times, 350% more likely to succeed than a 1-year-old business. So the fact is that as we, as an acquirer of businesses, look at businesses that have been around for at least 2 years or more, our chances are exponentially greater to have a successful business than if we were to start it up for ourselves. So what we want to do is we want to acquire a business and we want to build that business up. We do not want to start a business from scratch.
If you want a lot of additional really cool stuff, I've got a whole channel full of it, and you should subscribe so that you don't miss any of it, because I'm uploading videos all the time. There's a lot of things that are changing in this area, and you don't want to miss out. You don't want to do it wrong, and you don't want to make the mistakes I made. Subscribe so that you don't miss out, and then check out this next video.